Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. The Miami Dolphins find themselves at the center of an increasingly tense contract saga, involving tight end Jonnu Smith, a player who redefined expectations at his position during the 2020 season. Smith's stellar campaign not only shattered franchise records for a Dolphins tight end, but also placed him firmly in the conversation as one of the league's most underpaid offensive weapons. Now, with the regular season inching closer, his absence at the recent mandatory minicamp speaks volumes. The Dolphins want him back. Smith wants to stay, but as it so often happens in this league, the numbers are getting in the way. And for all the camaraderie and mutual admiration being publicly displayed, the cold, hard business of the NFL waits for no one, especially not a 29-year-old tight end looking for one final payday before the window begins to close. Smith's agent, the always vocal and well-connected Drew Rosenhaus, gave fans a sliver of hope during his weekly appearance on WSVN 7 Sports Extra. When asked about the situation, Rosenhaus didn't drop any bombshells, but did share a crucial detail. While the issue hasn't been resolved, he fully expects it to be sorted by training camp. That's no small comment, especially from someone who's seen it all in the world of NFL negotiations. Translation: we're not quite in panic mode yet, but the Dolphins' clock is ticking. And behind that calm exterior, there's a race against time to make sure a key piece of Miami's offensive puzzle isn't watching week one from another sideline or worse, the couch. Last season, Smith became a safety blanket for Tua Tagovailoa, operating as both a reliable route runner and a red zone threat. He made defenders pay after the catch and thrived in Mike McDaniel's creative system, turning seemingly routine plays into game-changing moments. Despite all that, he remains just the 32nd highest-paid tight end in the league by average annual salary. That's a glaring mismatch between production and compensation. And it's no wonder that Smith is now pushing for a new deal. It's not greed, it's the simple economics of performance. And when you've had a career-best season just a few months before your 30th birthday, the stakes rise fast. The Dolphins have publicly signaled their desire to retain Smith. Coach Mike McDaniel praised his impact, noting he doesn't envision the team without him. Tua went even further, saying the team should 100% pay the man. That level of support is rare and revealing. It's not just about numbers or cap space. It's about chemistry, trust, and momentum. Losing Smith wouldn't just subtract a Pro Bowl level player from the roster. It would remove a trusted gear from an offense trying to level up in a competitive AFC, and for a team that's on the fringe of true contention, that kind of disruption could prove costly. From Smith's side, the feelings are mutual. Through Rosenhaus, he's made it clear Miami is home. He trains there in the off-season. He played college ball at FIU. He just had a dream season in the aqua and orange. This isn't just another job to him, it's the culmination of a career arc that started in South Florida and now flourishes there. His dream team is the Dolphins. Rosenhaus said, that kind of emotional tie to a franchise is rare in a league of short contracts and shorter loyalty. Smith wants to be more than a rental. He wants to be part of the foundation. The question is, do the Dolphins see him the same way? Where things get murky is the structure of the deal itself. Yes, the Dolphins could afford to double his annual salary and still have financial breathing room, but that doesn't necessarily translate into a long-term commitment. At 29, soon to be 30, Smith is nearing the age when NFL teams start to hesitate on multi-year deals, especially at a position where physical wear and tear is significant. Miami might be willing to pay him for 2025, but hesitate to guarantee money into 2026 or beyond. That creates a disconnect for Smith, who just delivered his best season. This is the moment to lock in security. For Miami, it may feel more like a time to hedge. Meanwhile, trade winds are beginning to swirl. The Pittsburgh Steelers have emerged as the only team linked to Smith in any meaningful way. Their renewed interest came after Donald Parham Jr. went down with a season-ending injury. Add in the Arthur Smith connection. He coached Jonnu in both Tennessee and Atlanta, and the dots start to connect. Arthur knows how to use him, and more importantly, believes in his value. It wouldn't be the first time he's pushed to acquire the tight end. But how much are the Steelers really willing to offer? And more importantly, how far are the Dolphins willing to bend before letting Smith walk? The last time Jonnu Smith was traded, it didn't exactly rock the NFL. A 7th-round pick was all it took for Atlanta to pry him away from New England after an underwhelming stint there. But this is a different Smith, older, Yes, but coming off a resurgent season, his price should be higher this time around. Still, the tight end market is notoriously soft. These aren't receivers or pass rushers. Even elite tight ends rarely bring back premium picks unless they're game changers. So while Miami would love to get solid value in return, they're unlikely to find a bidding war. That fact alone may push them back toward the negotiating table if the Steelers don't bite. The Dolphins could be left with two options: pay Smith what he's asking, or risk losing him for nothing in 2026. That's not a great spot to be in, especially when the locker room is openly advocating for his return. Chemistry matters in football. Contracts can ripple through rosters. If a guy like Smith, beloved and respected, feels undervalued and leaves, it sends a message. Conversely, rewarding him now sets a tone of accountability and loyalty. It says, if you deliver, we reward. That's a culture builder. And for a team chasing bigger things, culture is everything. Ultimately, the most likely outcome is still a deal getting done before camp. There's mutual interest, plenty of time, and enough cap flexibility to get creative. The Dolphins don't have to break the bank, they just have to show respect. Maybe a one-year, $9 million fully guaranteed deal gets it done. Or a 2-year contract with incentives and a team option for year 2. Something that gives Smith the recognition and security he's earned without tying Miami's hands. Because if both sides truly want this to work, and all signs suggest they do, then finding common ground isn't just possible, it's necessary. Before another team swoops in and makes the decision for them, still with us. Then show some love. Hit that like button and let us know in the comments, what's your take on the Fins this week? Hey, folks, there's a buzz swirling around the NFL, and it's about to shake up the Miami Dolphins in a way we haven't seen in a while. The whispers are getting louder. Nick BOSA, the ferocious defensive end, might be suiting up alongside his brother, Joey BOSA, who's already a star with the Dolphins. Imagine that, to BOSA brothers terrorizing offenses on the same defense. It sounds almost too good to be true. But insiders say Miami's front office is quietly making moves to bring Nick into the fold. The potential for this sibling duo to wreak havoc is simply electrifying. Now, think about the impact. Both BOSA brothers are known for their relentless pass rush, bone-crushing tackles, and game-changing plays. If Nick signs with Miami, the Dolphins' defensive line could become a nightmare for quarterbacks across the league. Teams would have to prepare for double trouble, as these two siblings feed off each other's energy and compete to be the dominant force on the field. It's rare to see brothers this talented on the same team, and the Dolphins might just be building a defense that could redefine the AFC East. There's been chatter that Nick's contract talks are progressing swiftly, and sources hint that Miami is offering a deal hard to refuse. The team sees him as the missing puzzle piece that elevates their defensive front from strong to elite. With the Dolphins' aggressive approach in free agency, signing Nick BOSA could be their headline move, the one that sends a clear message to the league. Miami is serious about contention. The BOSA brothers together could become a brand new nightmare for fences everywhere. But what about the challenges? Bringing the star players like the BOSA brothers onto the same roster isn't just about talent. It's about chemistry, salary cap, and balancing the roster. The Dolphins will have to make tough decisions to fit Nick's salary under the cap, while maintaining depth in other key positions. However, the gamble could pay off in spades. Imagine the locker room vibe and the media frenzy if the BOSA brothers start dominating opposing quarterbacks week after week. The buzz alone could energize the fan base and give Miami an intangible edge. Of course, fans are already dreaming about highlight reels filled with double sacks, forced fumbles, and game-changing plays from this duo. Analysts speculate that the BOSA brothers could instantly make Miami's defense one of the league's best, capable of shutting down high-powered offenses. Opposing quarterbacks would have nightmares just thinking about facing this tandem. The potential defensive synergy between Nick and Joey could be a game-changer, especially in critical moments of tight games. Some insiders suggest that the Dolphins' defensive coordinator has been pushing for Nick's arrival for months, believing his presence would open up schemes and blitz packages that weren't possible before. With Nick on the edge and Joey already commanding attention, Miami could unleash some of the most creative and aggressive defenses in recent memory. The mere possibility of this makes Dolphins fans drool, but it also raises questions about how opposing coaches will adapt. It's important to note, though, that nothing is set in stone yet. Contract negotiations can be tricky, and rumors swirl in the NFL every offseason. But the excitement around the potential reunion of the BOSA brothers in Miami is tangible. Sports journalists and insiders are watching closely, trying to get any scrap of confirmation while fans hold their breath. Could this be the move that propels Miami from playoff hopefuls to true contenders? If the deal goes through, expect a media frenzy like no other. The narrative writes itself, to brothers, both elite defenders, joining forces in Miami to build a defensive legacy. It's a story that sells tickets, drives viewership, and boosts merchandise sales. The Dolphins would not just be signing a player. They'd be signing a headline, a storyline, and a potential dynasty in the making. The hype alone could transform the team's entire image. Meanwhile, rival teams are surely taking notice. The Patriots, Bills, and Jets will have to adjust their offensive game plans to face the new terror forming on Miami's defensive line. Coaches will be scouting film, trying to find ways to neutralize the BOSA brothers before they even hit the field. The ripple effect of this signing could influence draft strategies and free agency moves across the league, all because of the possibility that Nick and Joey Bosa could soon be teammates. So, what's next? We're all waiting for official confirmation, but the signs are promising. Miami's front office is tight-lipped but active. The players are buzzing, and the fans are dreaming. If Nick Bosa indeed signs with the Dolphins, we could witness the birth of one of the most fearsome defensive partnerships in NFL history. Until then, the rumor mill will keep spinning, and we'll be here, keeping you updated on every twist and turn in this potentially game-changing saga. That's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow Dolphins fan, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up!